Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Frank from the NSSL, and I'm back with Rannasha. Hi, Rannasha.
Hello.
And we're going to cast a game from the NSSL between kkDash and Shinigami from Group 6. We're starting the replay in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so again, Teldream Altar as any first game in a best of 3 series of the NSSL, and in the bottom right corner we see the Terran player kkDash sporting the red colors, and in the lower left corner it's the blue Zerg player Shinigami. Have we seen a game from Shinigami before? I don't think we have.
I have.
Ah.
I don't know about you, but I cast his game against nobody that he won, so that was good for him, of course, not so good for nobody. I looked at the scores, and kkDash also played one series that he won, so it's both players are up 1-0 in a group of four people. So they'll play 3 matches for both of them. This is their second, so it'll be quite important if they win it. It'll put them with one leg into the next round already.
Exactly, yeah. So one of the players is going to step out really comfortable, the other not so much. We're going to see whether this first game is going to bring some fireworks. We see kkDash walling off his choke, always a good move against Zerg, of course. And did you know there was a map change where you can now no longer wall off your choke with just barracks and a supply depot?
The map change on this map?
Yeah, because at first you were able to wall off this choke with just a supply depot and a barracks, but that's now impossible.
Oh no, I didn't notice that. I know that I think there's still between some of the spawn points slight differences in what you need to wall off. So this one actually I think you can very cleanly do with depot, barracks, depot, but on some of them there's only one grid cell remaining if you have depot, barracks, and then you have to put your next depot a little bit behind because you cannot squeeze it in anymore.
Alright. Yeah, we saw a game earlier where that really played a role, where the Zerglings just ran in where the Terran thought that he had a wall off, but apparently he didn't.
That's always very embarrassing when it happens.
It happens to me too. I played Protoss, and on this map you have to really work out how to make this wall work on the different positions, because it's different for each position. And if you leave open one hex, it's really tough. So what I in fact usually do is bring up another probe and see if it can move out the base if I just give a move command, just to check to see if the wall is closed. You know, it's a small price to pay for this security of having a good wall.
Yeah, definitely. We see that Shinigami is going for his spawning pool and extractor before he's getting his hatchery. He's now getting the hatch. No, it's getting blocked actually by kkDash, who is being very annoying with the SCV, and actually drops down an engineering bay at the place of the natural expansion hatchery. So that's quite annoying. Zerglings coming out now to chase the SCV away, but the engineering bay is one of the fastest buildings for Terrans with a lot of hit points, so it will take some time to get rid of it. It will be cancelled just before it dies to maximize the annoyance while minimizing the costs.
Oh, it didn't get cancelled.
It didn't get cancelled. Oh, that's a bit of a negative point for kkDash.
Yeah, that's
engineering base 125 minerals. If you cancel it, it's only like something like 30 or so, 31. But he didn't get the cancellation off. That's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it was worth delaying the hatchery, especially seeing as how kkDash Shinigami wasn't throwing down a very fast hatch anyway.
Yeah, exactly. If we would have gone for hatch first and that would have been blocked, that would have been far more annoying. But now it was delayed by maybe 10-15 seconds only, and he had to invest all of the 125 minerals as well as the building SCV that got killed. So I think Shinigami got the better end of that deal.
Yeah.
He did get the worst end of the deal with the Overlord that just flew in, because it got killed, and now Shinigami is quite heavily supply blocked. It got fixed as new Overlord spawn. He did get some scouting information, but the only thing he saw is that kkDash goes for the very standard reactor Hellion opener. He actually misplaced his factory as he landed it on the reactor, and then fixed it again.
Alright, yeah, exactly. There's Hellions coming out, but we see that Shinigami has all the watchtowers in the center, so he's going to be able to see exactly where the Hellions go, but it's not going to be a surprise. They're just going to go to the Zerg base and see if they can roast some drones or Zerglings. We don't see any type of wall off yet, which you can do if you go for the hatch first, then you have enough creep to start maybe an evolution chamber and start restricting the choke at your natural a bit more. Shinigami does not have the opportunity to do that now. The Hellions are already out on the map, but they're not moving. Oh, there they go. So, yeah, Shinigami is going to have to be careful not to let the Hellions in his base, but he's got plenty of Zerglings to hold off the Hellions.
Yeah, but if... so while he's not on creep, the Hellions will be able to kite a little bit and maybe do some damage, but he will be able to take out these Zerglings. No, actually they're just parting ways as more Hellions join in the fun.
Alright, kkDash has his second orbital command up in his main, and he's using it to produce extra SCVs. He's not moving it out to his natural yet. I think he just wants to build up some units from his 3 barracks that he's made. He's also researching stim, so he's gonna go for some bio play. He's also switching back his barracks for the reactor to the reactor. So indeed he wants to make lots of marines at this point with the upgrade, and the factory is making another reactor. Maybe that's going to be for a starport for some medevacs.
Yeah, it's quite possible. He does only have 1 refinery at the moment, so there's not that much gas income for tech units. But it would make sense to add medevacs at this stage. Alternative is that he makes another barracks to give this reactor to. Hellions have advanced a bit. There's a lot of Zerglings out on the map. Well, actually, it's not that many if you look at it. It's just 18. So with a bit of good control, you could take some of them out, but the Hellions are just sitting there for now.
Yeah, 6 Hellions do one-shot lines of Zerglings as they run in. And kkDash is now feeling safe enough to move out to his natural. So he's taken this natural, transferring some SCVs there, so he's going to start the mining. Has he taken his second gas yet? No, he still hasn't. He's still on 1 gas. And we see indeed, like you said, the barracks switching and again to the reactor, so he is gonna go heavy bio style. Also working on combat shields now.
Here comes the starport, and I think the next reactor will be for that starport.
Yep, and the Hellions are now moving around threateningly, but they're being spotted by the Overlords. Great Overlord position by Shinigami. He covers both of his chokes, so he sees the Hellions coming in, and the Zerglings are poking up and down, but I think they're just better off retreating to the creep, because the Hellions are not going to do anything as long as there's nothing here to roast.
Yeah, the Hellions are probably just to make sure that the 3rd base isn't going up too quickly. Just scout around and prevent these rocks from being taken out too quickly. They're now moving all the way across the map again, so Shinigami will be able to take down these rocks and then plant his 3rd.
Yep, kkDash is working on a wall in to prevent Zergling run-bys. It's always good to do that. Plant some supply depots. You're going to need them anyway, and you're going to prevent run-bys by Zerglings. And he's also putting down a bunker and working on his marine upgrades, going for infantry weapons level 1 at the moment. And muling it up at his natural expansion. He's also taken 1 gas at his natural, and he's finally taken the 2nd gas at his main. So he's now working from 3 gases, and you see that's with that he's able to sustain medevac production, double medevac production, and his actually he's just going marines at the moment. He's not making any marauders, of course. There's no roaches at the field at the moment. Oh, actually there are. There's 7 roaches right now. So he would do well to mix in some marauders, but maybe
he's getting siege tanks and siege mode though from his factory. He just got his first 2 medevacs, also combat shields and stim completed, so I'm wondering if we are going to see a bit of a timing push as all these things are lining up. But for now it seems that he's content with training his marines on the rocks of his 3rd base.
Yep, they're trying to get those barrels warmed up for the inevitable fight that they're going to have. One of the marines is just standing in the back making sure that everyone is shooting, except for him.
Yeah, he's the instructor marine.
Exactly. Yeah, you can be an instructor. Do you know how this works with the unit ranks in StarCraft? Because it doesn't really do anything. It's just for
it's just for fun. It's depending on how much kills you have. There are different levels. If you go past a certain level of kill count, then you go to the next rank, and it just displays it. That's all.
Exactly.
And different races have different ranks.
Right. Exactly. Right. I'm wondering what the different. Do you know what the highest rank is you can be as a marine?
No idea. It's not something I regularly pay attention to when I'm playing or watching, actually.
It's really just something for casters where they can say, oh, look at this marine, he's an instructor. And,
yeah, maybe, or if you're role-playing your marines, that you live with them and share their experiences as they move up in the ranks of the Terran army.
I think we might see, we're not going to see a cancel on the 3rd base, but it might be denied by this big ball of marines and Hellions. The Hellions are roasting up, but now there's some
units coming down.
but the roaches don't fare too well against just pure marine, and we see them evaporating, and now the third is probably going to go down.
Yeah, it's definitely going to go down. Shinigami has a drastic shortage of units to defend this. He's making more roaches, but they're not going to be on time to save the third. He only has 6 larvae at the moment, so he can only add 6 more roaches, and there's quite a threatening force of units now flying into the main base with these medevacs.
Yep, they're getting unloaded, and in the meanwhile, back in the base of kkDash, there's some tanks who can't get out of the main. They're just pummeling against the choke that has been closed with supply depots. There were some spore crawlers in the mineral line that actually were effective. There weren't any banshees, but they were nearly able to take out one of the medepacks.
But now the queen goes down. Some drones were killed. They all have to evacuate. Spawning pool will go down.
This sets Shinigami so far back in the tech tree. He might save his infestation pit if he's quick enough. Yeah, he does actually. And he could pick up the marines to just get out, but no, he's gonna have to. Well, actually, he might take out all the roaches and take out the infestation pit after all. He does actually.
There goes the infestation pits. And 21 more roaches coming in, and this will clean it up. But there's a new push coming to the front. 1 SCV and a whole bunch of marines with 3 medevacs. He did realize that the tanks were stuck. He lifted one of the barracks. Now the tanks are coming in the rear guard of this new push.
I think this is going to be a death push, and all of the roaches are in the back of the main defending against the drop, and at the same time all of the marines and the tanks moving up the front, taking out the creep tumors, also taking out the active ones. And yeah, with the tanks sieged up right at the front of the Zerg, this is really hard to break, especially seeing as how, oh well, there's some roaches running in, but all the tanks are sieged and the roaches are running into the siege line.
Yeah, they're just shelling from a distance as well. The marines are just keeping the roaches busy, but the tanks are doing all the killing at the moment. And a single roach tries to make a last stand, but brave as he is, he couldn't hold the line. Now all the overlords are going to go down. Actually, well, they're allowed to flee, but I think this game is all but over.
Yep, kkDash is methodically hopping his tanks one over the other, sieging up and making sure that he's not giving away his position. But these marines are...
Little flank from the bottom by 5 roaches takes out a tank. That's quite nice, but I don't think it's enough at this stage. Drones being pulled and they just get shelled by the tanks.
Oh, all the drones just evaporating with the tank shots. No, I guess this is it. 150 supply versus 68. There's no way that Shinigami can come back now. Even though he's expanding to the top. You see that? He's got 2 hatcheries.
He's expanding to everywhere, more or less.
Everywhere, yeah. So maybe if kkDash becomes complacent and is content with just shooting at larvae here, he might get surprised. But I don't think.
You have that sometimes when you play a game and then you destroy the enemy's base and he's just building expansions everywhere in some futile attempt to get back. You have a maxed army and he's just keeps trying to rebuild bases and rebuild his tech tree from scratch, and you're just wondering why he doesn't leave. And I don't think it'll turn into a game like this, but on the ladder that happens quite often to me at least.
Yeah, that's not as much a game. That turns into a game not so much about skill, but as about endurance, right? So who's willing to stay in the game longer? I remember those games in the beta before you could have a draw, where there were games of like hours where people were just at one floating building versus a zealot, and it's like, well, whoever leaves first loses. So you saw people like, I'm going to the bathroom, see you in a couple of hours, and then a couple of hours later he comes back. It's like, are you still in the game? Yeah, I'm still here.
It's quite impressive though if you have to go to the bathroom for a couple of hours.
Yeah, but they just use it as an excuse to leave.
We see the tanks and the marines now pushing forward. There's a last stand of roaches being constructed and it has to engage right now.
Just too late.
It's not going to be very effective. It does manage to get a couple tanks, but that's about it.
Yes, this will definitely be GG. The last roach is falling out. There it is. Okay, well, an exciting first game. Just basically a standard push from kkDash. Just being too much for Shinigami and his roaches. Yeah, maybe he should have scouted more. I'm not sure what he did wrong. Maybe just a matter of macro slipping a bit.
Yeah, I also don't like the roaches that much against the standard marine tank composition. Because in small amounts roaches do very well against marines, but as soon as you start adding combat shields, stim and medevacs, then the marines will just be effective against them. And if you then also have a couple of tanks shelling from behind, that just increases this effectiveness even more, and the roaches are just not not mobile enough to deal with this. Whereas Zerglings and Banelings, especially on creep, they can quickly overwhelm the entire army, and the Zerglings will be up in the faces of the Marines. So that means that if they get shot by the tanks, the splash damage will move on to the Marines. And of course, Banelings are Banelings, and you know how fun they are against Marines. I think that's a more suitable composition against this type of army than the Roaches.
kkDash is up 1 game against Shinigami. We're gonna have to see which map Shinigami picks for the next game, and stay tuned because we're gonna cast it right now.